How you how you
I'm good.
doing?
I'm good. What about you, Jason?
I'm doing well. It's a little early in the morning for me out here. I'm in California, but I'm really happy to be here to talk to you today.
Great. And it's 7:30 p.m. in the evening, so it's like 12-hour shift. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the difference. It's great.
So,
So today I want to, it's great that we're here talking together today, and I know your audience knows you, but I just want to also do a little introduction, if that's okay, kind of about your background. Is that all right?
yeah.
All right. So Annie Arsalan, I'm really happy to be meeting with you today. And Annie has 13 years of successful working experience, including 5 years in training and coaching. She's a certified SHRM, which here in California we call it SHRM professional, and also an NLP practitioner, and recognized consistently for performance excellence and contributions to success. That's really amazing. Annie has trained nearly 1,500 professionals and has equipped them with resourceful toolkits in context of personal life, professional performance, and purposeful mindset, which is very important. And I'm really excited to have a session with Annie and hear more about initiatives Feroze1888 is taking and how she is helping people in developing the growth mindset.
Thank you, Jason. I'm equally excited to, learn from you because I met you virtually even before you knew me. So I am really happy to have you in the session equally. And I really want to learn more about some modalities and some of the NLP technique. And I'm sure that our viewers are going to take benefit out of it. So I want you to first introduce yourself, and also a bit more we want to learn about One Path coaching.
Thank you so much. So yes, my name is Jason Jurado, and my company is One Path Coaching. My background is I am a master practitioner in neurolinguistics, so NLP, neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, I'm a master hypnotist, and also a process called timeline therapy, which really helps you deal with things in the past and build a very successful future. I've been certified for over 12 years now, and I've been seeing clients for 7 years. It's very rewarding. It's great work. I also have 26 years of retail leadership. I've been in business leadership for 26 years prior, during as well, working as part of an HR team within the company, and I was also a trainer within the company as well. So I like to take all this experience and really help people live the life they desire.
Great. Excited to know more about it and how that could be, the tools could be equally effective for us and for our viewers. So yeah, okay.
That's great. And so, Annie, I'd really like to get this talk kicked off with asking you a couple questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, it is perfectly okay.
I would love to hear your insights on, so why is positive state important in maintaining the day-to-day performance at work?
Okay, so Jason, for me and for any professional, positive mind and positive energy is very important every single day, because I really believe, being in HR, being a professional with all the experience I have got, I really believe when we have a positive mindset, positive energy within us, that keep us into an action mode rather than in a procrastination mode, and that keep us on the at cause mode rather than on being an effect mode mindset.
Right.
It helps us being more responsive to respond rather than to react, and I think that gives us the positive energy, that gives us a mindset of abundance and mindset of choices, and it makes us feel like a hero rather than being victimized. So I think for any professional, positive mindset is more like oxygen in the air if you really want to breathe and if you want to live. So that is what I believe about it. Rest I want to learn later after in my segment from you.
That's great. Yeah, and I love the fact that you mentioned, cause and effect. That's something as NLP practitioners and master practitioners, we talk a lot about that, and really taking responsibility for your life. And that's a big first step, really, is once you move into that, okay, I have responsibility here. It's not happening to me. I'm driving the bus, as we say in NLP, right?
Yeah.
Who's driving the bus? And it's us. So that's a great mindset. I love it. When we set goals, when we set our directions, and we think about things like that, one of the things that we talk about is well-formed outcomes. Could you talk a little bit about what well-formed outcomes are, please?
I think I would love to mention one thing here, Jason, that I feel people know less about what well-formed outcomes are. And I think that normally people don't either set their goal or they keep it blurred. So what I actually believe that, goal setting is the one of the primary prerequisite for any success in any part of your life. And sadly, 95%, that is what the research of USA said, that 95% of the minds or people do not set their goals, while the rest only 5% do set their goals. So this 95% are the people who serve the only 5% who set their goal. So this is a sad stats around, and it actually shows that we chase goals, but not our goals, but someone else set it for us. So when someone else set it, it is not the motivation that it should have for us. So for me, what well-formed goal is something that is stated very positively. In a statement like, if I want to lose weight even, so it should be rather cutting down calories. It should be stated as, I should look like in a certain way by a certain month or by a certain date. Or rather, if I from organization point of view, I say it should be, instead of setting percentile of rejection, we should set percentile for increase in the productivity or efficiency. Plus one more thing that I really want to mention, in Feroze1888, we do have a very smart cascading model of setting up a goal through the SMART tool, that is SMART, specific, measurable and stuff. But when it comes to the organization side, yes, it happens. But when I take it from the coaching side and the training side, I meet people, so I really know that the understanding of well-formed goal is really very limited. So we have to build it with the passage of time. Yeah, I believe it.
That's great. And you're talking about setting goals, and you mentioned SMART goals, which is familiar. And I think it's important that people use something that works for them. And something that's an efficient model, but it also works for them too. So I'm not saying, SMART is great and there's other things out there, but it has to be something that's well planned and that's on purpose. Speaking about goal setting, so I would love to hear your insights on what are some of the principles you use for goal setting?
Okay. So I would love to learn a lot from you as well. But when it comes to me, I would actually accept that since for many years in my life, I had been motivated to many goals and I had been chasing them. But lately, after I realized that they are not my goals, they have been set by someone else, by my parents, by my family, by my organization, or by XYZ, any other person. But I was motivated to chase them, but they were not really my goals. So as I grew up, as I found myself more into the HR and into the psychology side, then I came to know that, there should be a relationship. That later I took it as a principle for my own goal setting. There should be a relationship between you and your set goal. So when you can see it happening, when you can feel what it feels like when you get there, when you go into the the desired shape and you actually see it through your own eyes, the relationship is the only or mainly the principle, the motivator for me now to set a goal, because that makes me energetic enough to get up early in the morning every single day and do the do's and get it done and achieve whatever I want to achieve. So for me, one-liner is set a relationship with the goal, how it does look like, hear like, feel like when you actually achieve there. And then if it all sounds well to you, make it a goal.
That's great. I definitely, as we talk today, that's something I want to mention as well. I want to talk about too, about that process. One thing I wanted to mention, you talked earlier about setting goals and you had mentioned it, but I want to put words to it. We want our goals to be a toward goal, not an away from goal. And by that is what we're going towards. So you were saying, like with a weight goal, I want to be X weight. I want to be 100 and some odd pounds. That's going towards that, not I want to weigh less. Because if you have an away from goal, you're just going away from that. And sometimes if you get far enough away from that, then you stop going after your goal. You lose your motivation. Like you were just talking about, that motivation is very important.
Exactly.
And so if you're like, oh, I want to weigh less, and some people might lose 5 pounds and be like, well, I weigh less. Yeah. And they're not so motivated to exercise and eat right, so they might stop. But if they have that toward goal of, I want to be 135 pounds or whatever it might be for the person, I'm nowhere near that. But, you know, if that was their goal, they're going to continue until they hit that 135. So toward goals are very important. That's a great point to have that big.
Yeah,
specific.
It makes all good sense to me, to be very honest, because towards goals keep you energetic enough, you know, to chase for it. You are very right. You're very right. So if I am allowed to put up a few of the questions that I really need to know more about the techniques and tools. So first of all, I've heard about a lot more about the submodalities. I really want you to tell us what are these submodalities and how it does work like.
Definitely, thank you. Yep. So I want us to take a step a more global picture first to talk about, you know, we're talking about submodalities, but what are modalities, right? Let's start with the bigger picture. And modalities, when we talk about it in NLP, modalities are our senses. So the modalities are what we call vision, sight, auditory, which is sound, kinesthetic, which is feelings. So it could be a physical feeling, tactile, or an emotional feeling. So that's another one. And then to a smaller extent, gustatory and olfactory. So taste and smell, right? Those are the modalities that we have in our life. We build everything around that in our minds based on that. We make representations in our minds of our world around us by using those modalities. Submodalities are the nuances of those modalities. So as an example, a submodality of sight or vision. So you have a picture in your head, that's your modality, but the submodality would be the brightness, the color. Is it a movie? Is it near or far? Where that picture's at in your mind? You know, those are some of the submodalities of that. Auditory modality, the submodalities of that would be how it sounds, where the sound's coming from, the pitch, the tone. So submodalities are the nuances of our senses. And that is how we code memories and events in our head. If you think about it, you know, how do you know you like cake, as an example? How do you know you don't like something else? You know, we have these things, our preferences in our lives, but how do we keep those? Well, we code them in our minds, in our unconscious mind, with using submodalities. And that's what submodalities are.
Okay, and Justin, that's really interesting, and you're very right that we always make a picture with the feelings and all the things you described, and that's how we get into the desired picture or whatever we want to, you know, create in mind. But how that submodalities help us in changing our thinking patterns, and also they can help us in chasing our goals.
Definitely. So first, we'll definitely talk about thinking patterns and that. So like I was saying, we see the world, we have a ton of information coming at us at all times. We have millions and millions of what they call bits of information coming at us at all times. The unconscious mind can process up to, I think, 50 million bits of information per second. The conscious mind can only process 11 bits of information. So we have a ton of information coming at us. So we have to process that, and we're not going to get into the scope of that today of talking about our filters and things of that nature, but that's how our filters and we work. But then we take that information and we code it, and how we code it is how we represent the world around us. So our experience is coded using submodalities for the most part. I mean, there's other filters, but that's a big thing. So you can imagine if you have very positive pictures of the world in your head, you're going to see the world as a positive place. If you have negative pictures of the world in your head and representations, you're going to have that. So when you think about motivation, if there's something you're not motivated about, there's a very good chance that the submodalities of that image in your head is going to be muted. So there are some what we call universal drivers. There's some things that they call the difference that makes the difference. The way we represent certain things in certain ways in our head. In general, this isn't for everybody, but in general, if you are passionate or motivated about something and you like something, the picture in your head is going to usually be bright, usually in color. It's usually going to be close to you. It's usually going to be very clear. You know, those are some of the examples of how you see those pictures in your head in a positive way.
Right.
If you don't like something, the most submodalities are most likely for visual are most likely going to be darker, maybe fuzzy, further away from you. And we can use that to really make our lives better and to live the life that we desire. We can use that information because it's very important. So submodalities, how you code these things in your brain makes the difference between how you interact with the world.
And also it can be even created, like if I want to set a professional goal or financial goal or health goal or anything, so I have to take benefit of these submodalities and make it a brighter, clear picture in front of my head or my mind to make it more motivated, to keep myself motivated. This is all you mean.
Exactly. That's a great explanation. Yes. And that's how you use submodalities to really help you with goal setting.
That's really it's very thorough and deep and super amazing topic. So one question leads to another, but anyhow, as we are short of time, so we will inshallah be connecting again in the future for many of these such questions.
Yes.
It's really yeah, please continue.
No, I was just going to say thank you so much. It's been great to have a chance to chat with you, and I look forward to having more conversations as well. You're so knowledgeable, and it's great to talk with you.
Yeah, and for the timeline, in the next of the sessions, I would like to really learn from for the timeline and more of the other techniques that can help us as every single individual and our viewers to that can help them in their goal settings and more of the achievements.
Yes.
Thank you, Jason, for your time. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for showing up, and thanks for all the efforts.
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's been great to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.